Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show, where we help you make the wisest and most profitable decisions. My name is Dr. Gleb Tsipursky. I'm the CEO of Disaster Avoidance Experts, the future work consultancy that sponsors the Wise Decision Maker Show. And I'm joined today by Jeff. Jeff, can you please introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do?
Sure, Dr. Gleb. Jeff Williams here. Good to see you again, as always.
Yeah.
And I am the president and CEO of Aptia here in the United States. We're one of the largest benefit administration companies in America, helping mid to larger size employers deliver great benefit solutions for their employees and their families.
Mhm. And tell me a little bit about your generative AI adoption journey.
Yeah, for us, it's been, it certainly has been a journey of discovery. I'd say that
Mm,
we're probably right at that place on the Gartner hype curve of
mhm,
massive inflated expectations of all the problems that
mm,
would solve. And for us, I think, Doctor, has been very much around getting to grounded use cases to
mm,
deliver in the real world and really cordoning off the problem to addressable challenges and
mhm,
going after those challenges in a way that we weren't betting the firm, and a way that we
mhm,
could grow confidence, and a way that we could capitalize on skill sets within the company. So we were really focused
mhm,
on things that could make a difference for us,
mhm,
and not just continue to stare at a big challenge and figure out how to
mm.
bring some massive solution to it.
So it sounds like you're trying out some pilots. Would you like to describe a couple of those pilots and what you're planning to do with those?
Sure. Happy to. For example, one of them is to translate very complicated benefit plan documents into simple, understandable summaries so that we can
Mm,
drive client requirements a little bit more
mhm,
quickly. The second is just in our marketing efforts, using generative
mm,
AI to really help us in the way we construct messages, the way we target
mhm,
messages, all of those sorts of things. And a third one would be, the way we support our people.
mm,
We move a lot of files around in this
mm,
business, files from customers to carriers, files to third parties, and those files historically have had a tremendous amount of handling
mhm,
to them. So we're taking those files and we're consolidating work efforts, and we're also identifying things like anomaly detection to allow us
mm.
to smoke out errors and to limit rework.
Now, in doing that, I'm curious, how are you measuring your success? What are the metrics that you're setting up for the success of your pilot programs?
Yeah, it really depends on the initiative.
Mm,
So maybe I'll talk about the one where we're working in a world of handling files. So for
mhm,
us, it's very much around, is our accuracy improving? Is our
mm,
rework diminishing? We didn't, I guess, want to saddle the thing with too many KPIs out of the gate. We
mm,
wanted to prove out that we could actually do this and do it
mhm,
effectively. And so far, so good. But I would say that, for us, it was much more around getting started, finding the
mhm,
skill
mhm,
sets to do the work, and then applying the work in the real world and encouraging the people that were doing it to continue the experimentation versus us
mm,
having, we're not the biggest company out there. We didn't have to
mhm,
create kind of at scale big business case returns
mm,
for it to have a real impact on our business.
mm. Now, you're talking about encouraging employees to actually keep using it. And one of the biggest challenges that companies run into in generative AI adoption is employee resistance. Employees are worried about their jobs. We have a lot of surveys and I've done a lot of focus groups with companies that are figuring out generative AI adoption that where the employees have told me, and there's definitely challenges with that resistance and getting employees actually engaged with this project. Because as you said, you have to do a lot more efforts with generative AI than other types of technology adoption because you have to figure out use cases particular for yourself rather than if you're doing a CRM or an ERP, get already a playbook and a guideline from the vendor. So what are you doing to engage employees effectively and address that resistance?
I, I think it starts with your culture, and do your
Hmm.
do your employees generally trust what you're saying and
Hmm.
trust your intentions, and are you being transparent with them around what you're
Hmm.
what you're trying to accomplish? So for us, a key use case for us is to make the implementation experience easier for our clients and our people,
Mhm.
and to make the access to information internally democratized, easy to use,
Mm.
and more effective for our client interactions. So for us, it wasn't
Mhm.
about replacing people. It was more about creating capacity for the people we
Mhm.
have who are doing work that probably isn't as high a value add. So here we
Mm.
have these important customer facing resources that we're asking to do a heavy administrative lift.
Mm.
So our going assumption wasn't so much, hey, the machines need to replace the front line.
Mhm.
Far from it. We're in a tech-enabled services business that
Mhm.
requires, for our value proposition to work, it
Mhm.
requires that personalized touch and that personalized
Mhm.
advice. Now, will AI get there someday? You probably know more about that question than
Mhm.
I do. What I do know is I've got real people delivering great customer service
Mhm.
today, but who are burdened with, I call it low value tasks, and
Mhm.
getting them more effective we felt was
Mhm.
both important to our business and important to get their buy-in.
Mhm.
So far so good on
Good.
that front. And I think the other thing I would say is getting some help from a trusted partner that can actually guide you through it
Mhm.
and help not only with the deployment, but how you think about some of these
Mhm.
issues. I mean, for us, it's been really good. I mean, I can probably say it out loud. We partner with SnapLogic to use
Mhm.
their agent creator solution to
Mhm.
help um, bolster our
Mhm.
capabilities, and that part has been really good. And
Good.
it's been viewed more as an investment in our business
Mhm.
rather than a big attempt to replace people.
Mhm. Now, something you mentioned earlier was about skills. What have you done to teach employees skills in generative AI adoption? Training, learning, how have you pursued that area?
Yeah, well, we've encouraged it. We've
Mm.
encouraged both self-education, and we have courseware that's available to folks to access
Mhm.
to grow their own skill sets.
Mhm.
I would say that we're still in the early phases of our journey around
Mm.
retooling the skill set, but we're trying to leverage external parties to help with knowledge transfer to get
Mm.
our people up to date. But
Mm.
some of our more ambitious employees have just said, I need to keep my skill sets relevant, and
Mhm.
have challenged us to keep pace, and so
Mm.
far that's paying off for us.
Nice. Now, there's a lot of concerns about risk management and ethics around safety around generative AI. What have you done to have AI governance and AI risk management? What's
Yeah.
your focus on that area?
It's a great point. We can't afford to be approximately correct when
Hmm.
we've got someone standing, in a CVS who needs insulin. We need to
Hmm.
be perfectly correct around what their coverage allows them to get and to not get. And it's really, really important that everything we do gets synthesized through that lens. So I would say we are picking use cases that we can monitor with background expertise very effectively
Hmm.
to make sure that we aren't encountering
Hmm.
things like AI hallucination or
Hmm.
things that are polluting the model. I think it's really important to have really tight sources of where the
Hmm.
information is coming from. So we're not trying to pull generative from big public databases or
Hmm.
websites or those. We start with trusted resources.
Hmm.
We start with the data that we know to be accurate, and then we apply the AI to
Hmm.
that rather than trying to scrape the internet and have it give us the answer.
That makes sense. Now, as we finish up, where do you see yourself going with generative AI in the next year or two as you mature on your journey?
Maybe I'll do it in the form of an example
Hmm.
that I'm invested in, and hopefully my friends at Microsoft are listening to this one. So we're a Microsoft shop. We have
Hmm.
Office. We are a Dynamics customer. We're a LinkedIn Sales Navigator customer,
Hmm.
and I've got Copilot, and I've got all of these recorded internal and external meetings on Teams. So for me, there's this, I believe I don't think this is something I'm going to solve this year, but over the medium term, I should be able to leverage the intersection of all of those things. How are my people spending their time? What are they
Mhm.
writing down? What are the sentiment of the calls that they're having?
Mm.
How is that being populated into the CRM? What are we learning about the elevation of our contacts in LinkedIn? And starting
Mm.
to spit out real analysis of where we're succeeding commercially,
Mm.
where we're not succeeding commercially, who's succeeding, why are they succeeding?
Mm.
Like I see a future where there's this real opportunity to leverage all that we do today on our Microsoft plant to make us much, much more effective commercially. So I'm
Mm.
expecting really big benefits from business insights.
Mhm.
Certainly, I'm expecting more efficiency and I'm
Mhm.
expecting tighter outcomes on the shop floor. But first and foremost, we have a real growth bias, and we'd love to
Mm.
see the interlock of AI drive more value for our clients and thus more value for our firm.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise, Jeff. That was very, very helpful.
Always, always great to talk to you.
And thank you to the audience for checking out another episode of the Wise Decision Maker Show. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you checked out the show and leave a review. It helps others discover the show and helps us improve the show. And if you have any questions, please email me at gleb, Gleb, at disasteravoidanceexperts.com.